Underbelly hours. Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the first Underbelly Hours episode
The
of
first
2020.
Underbelly hours interview.
Excuse me, you're correct. Of 2023. Yes. We have a very special guest. We have a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but first we gotta do the intro song. So I'm Adela.
And I'm Dan.
And you're listening to
the Underbelly hours!
Take off your coat, stay a while!
Alright. Woo! Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, it's the boy. All sorts of things are happening on the show today.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
It'll be a good time.
If you like what you hear,
Are you ready?
you can find us on Underbelly Hours,
All sorts of
on all the socials, where you get your favorite local takes on the local greats.
Here it comes, ready? Sing it with us. All right, guys, welcome. We are so stoked to be back and interviewing guests. I don't know about you, Dan. I feel like I miss this component, honestly, of the Underbelly Hours, just sitting down with the band, chatting about their music, and everything else that randomly comes up along the way, which is prone to happen.
Yeah, and some stuff popped up.
Yes. When we sat down with our guest today, who is
The Invisible Cartoons. I think I added the Beatles effect.
Yeah. I think it's just
Invisible Cartoons. Sorry, guys.
They are really cool. Not only do they have fantastic music, but they're also extremely warm and personable, optimistic guys with lots of great stories to tell.
Just so much loving energy.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
So sweet. I want to have a relationship as good as those guys have with each other, honestly. Right. It's amazing, and we can't wait to showcase that for you guys. But before we get into the interview, we got to do some musical shout-outs. We haven't done that in a while as well. And
we haven't done a lot in a while.
Well, that's true. And go back and watch the first episode if you want to know more about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of people have been dropping good stuff. So the musical shout out we want to do for this week, let's start things off with one of our favorites, the Pininfarina band.
Farina.
Who's in
Farina.
Guys.
Sorry.
No, that's great. They need to do that for like some sort of stupid promo sometimes.
Yeah, sure.
You know? Like the cha-cha-cha-chia. And it's just...
yeah.
The hair just grew.
I would buy a Pininfarina chia pet.
Josh said he would buy a Pininfarina chia pet for those of you.
We'll just get all the wine moms in a line and they'll all scream drunkenly.
Alright, in any case.
Well, we love him, but can't we be transparent and totally... Oh, he's got a fan base.
Yeah, the whole band does. I mean, yeah. They're great. And but it is a little funny to see that there's a... how do we say this? There's a lot of a certain type of audience member that goes to those shows.
And I'm one of them. Yeah, if you go there, it's just a bunch of balded, bearded dudes. I'm kidding. It's the complete opposite.
Yeah. We love the Pininfarina band in any case. They're fantastic.
They're great guys.
Great guys.
Phenomenal musicians.
Absolutely.
They're so tight. They rock hard.
They rock hard. But a little bit of a change of pace. They've recently released a little bit more of a ballad style song called A Perfect Sky. It just dropped on Friday the 13th, January Friday the 13th, ahead of their Des Plaines Theater show, which I saw pictures of, and that looked like it was
pretty successful.
It was a success.
Pretty good show.
Yeah, and
Woo.
This song features Pino on piano. Pino on the piano, which is not...
Piano!
Let's just hear the song. I don't know what else to say.
We're going off the rails already.
Oh my god, here's A Perfect Sky by the Pininfarina band.
On the Underbelly Hours. Yeah.
We're met together like the candle wax on a constant flame. 2 weeks alone, bring 'em close, make 'em one and the same. So make a wish, blow it out, and lights right back up again. 'Cause our love is strong, yes it's strong, baby, stronger than change. We'll come together like two rivers running so deep. The water flows like the blood feeding my heartbeat. Don't ever stop like a drug, you've become something I need. Just like a song's not a song without a melody. The more I get of you, the more I need. The more I care for you, the more I bleed. The more I get of you, the more I need. The more I care for you, the more I bleed. We'll come together like the colors of a sunset in a perfect sky. Shade and soul, never mind, they become intertwined. A flawless scene, you and I've never felt so alive. You fill my life like the sun fills a perfect sky. The more I get of you, the more I need. The more I care for you, the more I bleed. The more I get of you, the more I need. The more I care for you, the more I bleed.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah, brother, that was a perfect sky by the Beat Arena Band.
Thank you, Macho Man Randy Savage. Macho Man, did you know we also have one more band we're going to shout out for the musical shout out this week?
No, I did not. Shit.
Okay, so I can't do this. The next band we're shouting out for the musical shout out is a band that I actually saw last night. I was played with the Jory Avner little group that he's got going on. We opened at Cubby Bear for the Swell and the Surge and the Swell. I almost got that mixed up. Surge and the Swell. They are a Minneapolis-based folk rock group. They were coming through the area though and picked up some Chicago musicians to add to their bill. It's a two-piece usually, but they performed in a full rock band setting. There was a slide guitarist who absolutely killed it. Love a good slide guitar. It just adds that like nice little country texture to the tunes, and I really loved their set. So much so I bought a CD, listened to it in the car ride home, and I want to give it a shout out right now. The song in particular I'd like to shout out, since we played a little bit more of a ballad earlier, Perfect Sky, let's do something that's a little bit more upbeat. You're listening to the song The Surge and the Swell by The Surge and the Swell.
Oh, they did one of those things.
Yeah, they did one of those
Bad
things.
Company, by Bad Company off the album Bad
Yeah.
Company.
It's got a nice little like a shuffle kind of beat going to it, and I don't know, it just makes you feel like traveling, like doing a road trip in the summer. It's really good. The harmonies are super tight, and there is in the chorus a very like surge of like volume goes up. It kind of gets a little bit more full instrumentation, which is a fun
like
effect.
A swell?
Yeah, it's nice. It's so intricate, you know. It's all coming together, the name and the song and what actually happens musically in the song. So I thought that was very nice. Let's give it a listen now.
Let's do it.
And we're back. Welcome everybody to the interview portion of tonight's episode of the Underbelly Hours. And who better to kick off 2023? Who better to bring in the positive vibes, the good energy, than the one and only Invisible Cartoons? Thank you guys for coming on the show and welcome. How have you been?
Busy doing stuff. Yeah, trying to get it in. Yeah.
I mean, the OG fans who will have been following the Underbelly Hours for a while will remember you guys back from when you were in the WRSC studio with us, which must have been too long. 4 years?
4 years, maybe.
5 years ago. Oh, man.
I think it was November 2018.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And you guys delivered an incredible performance then. They were doing you guys should check out we still have the old video up. We can maybe try and clip it as a promotion for this episode because it was really fun.
To the clip.
Actually, that's a good idea. Cut to the clip. Where you guys showed up with we told you that this had to be an acoustic set live on air. And I remember you rocked up, acoustic guitar, okay, normal. I think there was a kazoo. There was like some toy, like a melodica. I'm pretty sure someone brought like a toy instrument of some sort. It was really fun, and I just thought from that moment on, I will forever be a fan of Invisible cartoons.
Yeah.
So I guess, since it has been a long time since you guys have been on the show, what have you been up to during the course of the 2020s, the pandemic so far, and what's the direction of the band right now? Where are you all heading? That's a big question. What have you been up to since 2020?
Well, we've been we were pretty lucky. I feel like a lot of bands, suffered a little bit more during the pandemic with scheduling and keeping active. But I think with us all being really close friends, it kind of helped us to endure that. And we went through some small phases of not doing shows and not practicing, obviously, but kept in touch the whole time, and we were able to do some remote shows and some remote music videos during that time. And then over the last 6 months to a year, things are pretty much back into the full swing again, just playing lots of shows and recording and getting ready to release a new album.
Yeah.
Full album, full length.
Yes, full length. Full length.
A nice big chunky bowl of full album.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
we EPs are cool, but we're trying to make it epic. We need to, this will be our third release, and making music with Ryan Wordy and Ryan Caldwell for the last going on 6 years. They kind of filled in the gaps for Space Cat, but now it's kind of let's go. Let's do 10 songs. Let's all contribute. And what's so great about this band is everybody knows their role and knows how to do it well. And we just, we all just, it's easy. This band is not difficult to figure out what we know everybody's ins and outs. Me and Justin's been friends, 20 years. We've been friends for a long time. Worthy and Caldwell, we've been friends for a long time as well. So it's I've never been in a band. Love my old band members, but I've never been in a band like this where it was, it's a lot of work that we're doing, a lot of organization, but writing songs. And we was screw this, let's just do it right. I wish the pandemic never happened, but the silver lining was it gave us time to sit back, regroup, and all right, we 2019, we played a crap ton of shows. And then 2020, we had a crap ton of shows, and they just disappeared. Mm-hmm. And that just gave us time to sit back, focus, get back to figuring out how we want to set the next step of Invisible Cartoons universe. And these 10 songs going to be crazy, man. I've never been this excited about making a record in my life, in my 44 years of existence. Yes, I'm 44.
Yeah, and one last thing. I think that we all feel pretty confident this is going to be our best record ever. There's just everything is lining up, the songwriting, the music, the lyrics. It's just, we're really, really excited about it.
That's awesome.
So as the writing process, was that starting in the pandemic era, and then how, did you guys have the tracks and then you just started playing them out, or have you guys been kind of writing continuously throughout this whole period?
I believe it started happening around the pandemic because 2019 we was constantly playing shows. We played 40 shows that year.
Nice.
And that was a lot of shows for, we still have regular jobs and we doing weekend stuff. So we played a lot of shows. And then 2020 when things stopped, what else we got going on? I mean, we don't got shows every weekend. So it's that started getting us a flow to write songs. And one of the cool things about us writing these songs, we had, people just bring ideas to play. Hey, Ryan Caldwell, and I got to give him credit because he's been a catalyst for a lot of ideas that came into place to make these songs, and Wordy as well. And they'll come in and say, hey, I got these riffs, and then we'll put them on our where we had Slack. We put them on this thing where we, Slack. But
I
now
love
we
Slack.
on Discord now. But yeah, we put it on Slack, and it's like, all right, we got this. We would come up with these demos, and within that time, once we got to practice, probably 2.5 practices. We were on. How long is that song? 3.5 minutes. All right, we got a new song.
Nice.
And then within that, once we hit 10, full record, let's go.
Yeah,
it's go time. So. Yeah, I think that gave us time to really sit down and write when we wasn't playing shows all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, we took our time with it. And I'm so pumped.
Well, before we get too much into discussion of the new album and other things that might be in the works, I know you guys are a visual-based band. You guys have created some incredible music videos. Let's take a look back at the Invisible Cartoons pre their new album, exciting stuff, with one of your most popular songs on YouTube, and one that has an incredible music video. I was thinking we can show off Down with the Get Down one time, in case it's a great introductory, I think, to Invisible Cartoons. If somebody doesn't already know you, they'll start loving you after hearing the song Down with the Get Down by Invisible Cartoons.
On the Underbelly Hours.
You down with the get down?
Down with the Get Down. Crazy stuff. And I think we probably covered this ground a little bit before when you were on the podcast, but that music video is actually really insane. All the effects that are going into it, and it makes me wonder, where did you find the space to record such a fun music video? And do you have plans to continue making incredibly dynamic, colorful, wonderful, and wacky music videos of that sort?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that was 2 locations.
Okay.
It was in Ryan Caldwell's basement, and it was in my studio basement studio.
So basement's our theme here.
Yeah, basement, yeah. And it was I went to Home Depot, painted 4 walls green, and then put them downstairs, and made all that stuff was in that room.
Nice.
All the green screen stuff. So
yeah, and just to make it explicitly clear, I think you guys already know this, but maybe the audience doesn't. But Chris is the one who produces and shoots and edits all of the videos himself, so he's really a multi-talented man.
Nice.
It's fun. It's easy when you got guys that make good music. It like that music just makes it. That video had to look like that,
right?
Because of the song. The song had all those colors, and it was just like, all right, this man, yeah, yeah. The like looking back, sometimes I'll go back and look at some of how I edited and everything else. I'm like, how the hell did I not lose my mind? I'm very tedious with the stuff, especially the first part of the song is very, stroby and just. I think one cut for like 5 seconds was probably like 30 clips.
Oh,
within
wow.
that second.
How long did it take you to finish that music video then? Do you remember?
Late July to late October.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's huge.
And I was still trying to figure it out, man. Figure out how to edit and all these other things. But yeah, that was silly. That was a lot of work. It was fun. I love it. But now the things that I feel like I know how to do now, and learning from Nat, and also producing and co-directing a movie and editing that, like the things that I want to do for our next videos is ridiculous compared to what we did with it. I'm the level is insane of the things, and I want help. I want to help, and I want people who really know what they're doing. So we're definitely getting help and other people to contribute with the visual aspect of it. So it's it's gonna be. Put it this way: I got a special effects practical effects artist working on one of our characters for this song called Commander Blob.
Commando Blob?
Commander Blob.
Commander Blob.
Yeah,
okay.
He's an arch enemy of Space Cat, and we're gonna create a live action version of Space Cat as well. It's I got some things up my sleeve.
Dang.
It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Wait, so then can we be correct in assuming? Let's get into the concept of the album a little bit. I don't want to jump ahead of ourselves too much. Mm-hmm. You already kind of name drop. We got a Commander Blob. We know that the Space Cat was the main protagonist of your EP.
Right.
Is this going to be kind of related to the Space Cat EP in some way as a story?
Space Cat comes back into the fold with this. Okay. The name of the album is Sci-Fi Disco Carnival. So we created this carnival within it. The main guide, her name is Asha Galactica. Okay. So we're gonna have this and we took a lot of reference from the movie Metropolis. And then a lot of like German expressionists and certain things that we're trying to do with that. So our buddy Sean, who created the Space Cat character, he's going to be working on the artwork for this album. So people's going to enter the sci-fi disc. Sparky, our robot, he's going to be DJing at the whatever. And so Sci-Fi Disco Carnival is kind of the same setup. But Space Cat out there doing his thing, saving the world. But Commander Blob is kind of like, I ain't feeling the Space Cat. So he's going to kind of be in the mix of everything. So we're going to have these little battles and stuff. So I wouldn't call it a concept album, but there's a lot of elements that's going to kind of come together with everything that we're doing.
More of a thematic album. You have this universe where
Yes,
people are
yes.
living. You got
I see
Commander
universe,
Blob and yeah.
Yeah, we're just
I see universe.
We're
Yeah,
we're
I
just,
see
we're
you.
just the messenger, man. We're the band. We're that band who talk about these stories. You know, so.
Where do these stories come from? Are they just something that you've always? Because some people have this thing, and I don't know if you guys do as well. When they're little, they have this like cartoon they made when they're 6 years old. Threw it away in a dark, dusty corner, forgot about it, then their mom drags it out like 20, 30 years later. Remember when you were drawing this little Mr. Space Bob man? And then they get inspired and, kind of bring it back into their adult life. Did something like that happen with this project? Or is it just like wild imagination, anything that comes into my head? I'm going with the flow.
I think when we first started out, the first album Characters, we were just kind of like, the album cover is us as kids watching our adult selves on TV. I'm like, that's cool. But Space Cat we didn't get into the whole sci-fi space thing until we did the whole Space Cat. And then it was kind of like, all right, this is cool. And then we started, then I was like, I got away from the bow tie stuff. And then we was like into like the galaxies and we did the hats and stuff. And then we just like, all right, this sci-fi thing working. A lot of people into sci-fi. I like sci-fi. Justin likes sci-fi. Or like everybody into that kind of vibe. I'm like, dude, this works. So, and I love telling stories. And I like I said, I don't think it's a concept album, but I like concept. I like themes and all that stuff. And Space Cat was so huge for us. It's got to come back. Space Cat's not a man or woman. It's this symbol. I don't try to put a category. Was it non-binary, whatever. Yeah. So, but Space Cat's going to be back for another adventure. And a lot of things, my Sean, who designed, he came to me and said, yo, man, we need to make a comic book about Space Cat. I was thinking about, because he's a comic book creator. Like, he's doing a huge job right now. He put out 2 comic books. Nice. So he the one who kind of, I knew with the carnival thing, I wanted to bring all our characters back, the TV heads dancing on our shirts, and Sparky, our mascot robot. I wanted to always bring them back within the carnival aspect. But then when he was like, yo, let's do a comic book for Space Cat, that's when all these other things kind of came into play, and where I was like, oh, he was kind of motivating me to kind of add more elements to this and that, with the Space Cat character. And yeah, everything just kind of come into place, just kind of, continue creating that theme. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Just kind of putting all the stuff. We got some rough sketches of the album cover and everything. Okay. Just looking, I'm just so giddy and just excited about it. Yeah, it's like I like to make things that I want to see, and like we talked about, like we're not a band that's gonna put out a single and say, hey guys, check out our single. Like, we want to put out a work of art. We want to put out something special. So we want to put you into that world. We want to create our own avatar and just in this pink and blue galaxy of Ferris wheels and cotton candy and blobs and space cats and robots. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, and I guess to contextualize that a little bit more, because we were talking a little bit behind the scenes here about, you guys mentioned that you don't feel like you don't feel pressure to release albums, you release singles. You just kind of wait until you have the right concept, right sound, and you go for it. Whereas I know some people are kind of right now trying to survive off of the single mentality, releasing a song every couple of months to try and get back into the mainstream of things. And I guess my question with that is, do you worry that you'll kind of fade in the consciousness a little bit if you take too long of a break? Does that fear ever come up in the band? And how do you deal with that if so?
Can I answer that?
So I don't think that we're so much like, I'm sorry, can you ask me that one more time?
Sure. No. I guess
the question to come to me here.
Don't answer you, man.
No. I guess I'm asking, like, do you guys as a band ever get the worry that not being super active with your music, not playing the singles game, is going to make you less relevant in the eyes of the public? And how do you, I guess, juggle that emotion? If so,
as far as with the singles game, like, Chris does a really good job of like keeping engaged on social media, at least, and I think that at least helps, because it's not necessarily completely filling that void of us not having a new red. It's not completely filling that void of us like putting out a new song or a new single every few months, but it's like one of those things where it's kind of like, hey, remember we're here. Hey, we're right here again. Hey, remember, here's a funny thing.
Right.
And Chris is really good at finding good ways to interact with people, finding good non-spicy memes to throw out there. But yeah, so we don't worry too much about throwing out the singles because we try to keep up with the social media like that. And then on top of the social media, like we just kind of work at our own pace because we can do the social media stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, community engagement is so important. I feel like you guys are so good online. Yes. Also live in person. Y'all should get a chance to check out the Invisible Cartoons because you work the crowd like almost no other band I know in this area. You get everybody. You get the grandmas who are chilling on the deck. You get the kids who are running around screaming, throwing things at their brothers and sisters. You get the people in the back with their arms crossed. They're at least nodding their heads to the music. Yeah, it's it's absolutely infectious. And I bring that up because, well, for one reason, definitely should go see them live. You have a chance to see you live very soon. And your very first show of the year. Can you guys talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, February 4th in St. Charles, Pollyanna. Awesome venue. That'll be our first show of the year, 2-hour set. Show starts at 8:30. If you guys are available, man, come on out. It'll be our first show of 2023, and yeah, we're excited to get back out there and do some gigs. And I think one of the main things about, staying relevant is we kind of laid in the cut here and there after the pandemic, and then 2021. All right, we got in 14 shows that year. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And then this year, I forgot how many shows, but it was definitely a little bit over 20, I'm assuming. And this year, we're gonna get back into the flow. I think what helps is we're playing. We're a live band. We're not rappers. We're not pop singers, and we can put out a single and get you. No, we want to physically see you dance in front of us as we play our music. We're a rock band, so us playing shows and staying active, that helps us stay relevant. And like I said, we're getting better with social media. One thing I don't want to do is pretend to be something that I'm not. So I engage with people just having random conversation. I think that the last post I did, I was saying, this looks awesome. And I thought it did look awesome. It was a waffle Lego. It was a Lego waffle maker. And I posted that. And people were like, yeah. And I
that's on brand for Invisible Cartoons, though.
Yeah, because after shows, I have conversations with people. And I'm like, cool, that's how I want to treat social media. I can get up and do a little jiggle and, whatever. But, I just have random stuff and people have conversations and, and that's how I stay engaged. And I think we could do singles, but also just think, I don't know if that just makes sense for us. And I feel like, us being out there playing shows, being engaged. And then when this record comes out, then here we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Here we go. It's there. We're building our, we're trying to bite off Marvel. We're building our icy universe. We're building this world. We don't want to just throw you a couple of, whatever. We wanted you to dive into this carnival and have some fun with us and stay in as long as you can. So, and that tells you who wanna F with us and who don't. So I'm good on it, man. I've been doing this. We all been doing this a long time. I get in where I fit in.
Right.
But yeah, February 4th, Pollyanna's in St. Charles. St. Charles. 8:30, 2-hour set.
Yeah, I feel like because you guys do great on being authentic in the social media sphere. I think maybe part of the pressure of like keeping up with singles releases is because other people just don't have the time to come up with like regular authentic content for themselves. So they kind of feel like, oh, I need something big. I need to put out another single, and I need to keep up. This person put out another single. Oh no, I need to put out another single. And then when you do that over and over again, nobody cares.
That's what I was just going to bring up too. It feels like, and maybe it's because they release it, they record a bunch of songs all at once and then want to spread it out as singles. But sometimes if people are releasing singles too often, and just doing the singles, not thinking about different ways of engaging, then yeah, it just becomes like, oh, XYZ released a song again, cool. But you get kind of numb to it because XYZ has released, 3 songs over the past 3 weeks.
Right.
And nothing else, not engaging with their fans, not really building the community. So yeah, I think it kind of goes both ways. And again, I should stress that I'm not necessarily a fan of the singles kind of mentality, but I wanted to ask you guys that because it does feel like sometimes we are a little bit like in a rat race of like constantly releasing content. What makes good content,
Yeah.
Being yourself.
And I mean, and you know, we definitely want to continue building on the business aspect of the brand of Invisible Cartoons. I mean, we get it. You know, we're trying to make this merch, the merch that we create. You know, that's a big deal, and we invest a lot of time and money into that. We're building our brand, so that kind of helps. But like I said, I don't want to be an old head about things. But like at the end of the day, we're a rock band, and we're gonna play shows. We're gonna book shows and play in front of you. And it's easy if you rap and you're pop singing. You got tracks galore, and you can just put all that stuff in place. I mean, it's one person. Her name's Baker Grace, phenomenal vocalist. She always putting out singles, but she her tracks are it's pop music, and she can knock it out. She got a freaking machine. We're a band trying to find a schedule to practice once a week to say, hey, we got to put a singer out, guys. It took us this long to make 10 songs that we really like, and we're like, what's the first single? We don't know. We like them all. What we gonna do? Because we're in tune. Like we all sing. So we got to work on the harmony. Like we had band practice where we just worked on harmonies for 2 hours. It's like we're crafting something. Mm-hmm. And if people want to be a part of this carnival, part of this icy universe, come on. There's plenty of room for everybody, man. So that's what it's all about.
Sure. With all that being said, I was going to ask, what are you guys doing to kind of hype up the new album? Is there going to be a promotional single at least ahead of release, or are you, debuting some of these songs live before the album comes out? Or have you already been playing?
These songs been played for the last 2 years. Like a lot of these songs are pandemic songs. It's like we've been playing them, and it's cool because we got people who are who's seen us the last year and a half, and then you see them in the crowd and they're humming "Fed Up." Mm-hmm. That song ain't anywhere, but it's like, oh shit, we're all fed up. They're like, oh, they're singing because these songs been around for 2 years. Mm-hmm. Now putting them on wax, it's like, all right, cool, let's go. Promotion wise, once we get like some things in place, I got ideas for a music video. I've been corresponding with my DP, my director of photography, and looking at locations where we could shoot it. And like I was asking you about ballerinas and this, and so I got you.
I'll grab some ballerinas for you.
Yeah, so I got these ideas in place, but I think if
keep some ballerinas in your closet.
Oh yeah, pull them out when I need them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see a single or music video coming out or getting in place before we put the record out.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, and just building the atmosphere of the disco carnival and just trying to get it out there. Our goal is to have it by summer. It's only January, so we got time to kind of piece it together, and then we're gonna put it out there. I think 2023, getting it out there by summer, which is probably half the year is over, and then boom, boom, boom. And then 2024 is probably gonna be even more like do some mini tours and boom, 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 and we got this record and put it out there. So it's a process, but it's good.
And we probably will release, a single, like kind of line things up so that the video will come out along with the single, and we'll probably release that ahead of time. And just kind of circling back to the single versus album thing, I kind of feel like it really depends on like the band itself and kind of finding a groove of what works best for your band. Like Chris was saying, like for certain types of artists, like singles really make sense, and like other artists, it makes more sense to do EPs or albums. And we've tried like a really wide variety of approaches over the years, and like Chris was saying, like we found that like our main thing is live shows, and that's like where we do the best. So that allows us to like relax a little bit more with kind of the release of singles or albums. Mm-hmm. And if we really focus on a live show, then we kind of feel like no matter which way we do it, it will probably work out okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, another thing I thought of was like when you mentioned, yeah, we're gonna release the album this year, but then 2024 is where we're gonna be really just like hitting it everywhere. I feel like with the singles mentality, people don't actually spend enough time post-release promoting and getting people to check out the music that they just released. Yeah. They're trying to get the next one going and get the hype up for that one so they can get those like day one streams.
Yeah.
And
Which is a
then
shame.
they forget that it's like, you
streaming is weird. Streaming is weird, man, because it's like, man, if you got like 48,000 people streaming your stuff, you're like, damn, that's 48,000. That ain't financially. You need 1 billion streams to make some money. Yeah.
Right.
And guess how we make our money? We play in front of people and we sell T-shirts.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even then, like the 48,000 streams, like how well does that translate over to actual,
people showing up,
or just new followers or new engagement online? It's like, no, because they're probably it was either put in like a playlist or and people are just listening to it mindlessly, and that's where a lot of those streams come from, and not to like knock people who are getting a lot of streams, but you also have to think about like, well, how many of those are bots and just stuff like that. Yeah. It's like, so people who obsess over that metric is like, well, how's that actually affecting all the other things you should be looking at that actually is going to help build your fan base and your community around what you're working on. So
yeah.
And just tagging on to a little bit of like how you were talking about the people that keep releasing new stuff, like a thing I had read about not even too long ago was that a lot of artists do not put their old stuff and repost it. And that is content in itself. It's older content, but a lot of times you can get a lot more views. Just keep posting it, like not like every day being like,
right.
Hey, did you check out my music video yet? Hold on, check out my music video, please. Check it
right.
out. But more like every once in a while, like maybe like a half year past the point when you released it, be like, hey, remember this music video? And just try to get a couple extra people to check out the video. Yeah. And just things like that can help.
One of the things I was thinking about that Wordy brought up is I want to do some behind the scenes making of things that we did for our music videos from the past. I have a lot of like outtakes and B-roll stuff of the green screen of like Slap Nasty and Down to Get Down. Like there's a scene where he's playing, I'm in a green suit and I'm just waving his and I want to post that, and then I will post that and then put the actual before and after kind of thing. Yeah. So with my editing, I've been doing a lot of those. I've been creating snippets and stuff like that. So that's another thing, especially with the Facebook Reels and TikTok and stuff like that. You can create these little sections. So I'm doing those things just to
spice it up.
And then we'll create promos and stuff once we get everything kind of built up with the carnival and then doing all that stuff. But those are things I've been kind of thinking about, going back from the past and getting that stuff. I think people, I love stuff like that.
I love stuff like that.
And people always ask me, how did you do that?
I love behind the scenes footage.
So that's been up our sleeves of content we're going to put together.
Also, I love behind the scenes footage when you're looking at it after you've seen the end result. Yeah. Because none of the mystery is then spoiled beforehand. And I feel like another thing that kind of to that went away is now behind the scenes footage is all just content in the moment where it's like, oh, we got to post this to our reels now. And so everyone just sees the process unfolding as it happens, and then it finally comes out and they're like, oh yeah. No, I've seen you work on this.
That's a good point. Well, that's a good point though about like the
I know I did it. Yeah,
the destroying of the mystery aspect to it, because like then if it when it drops and you've already seen like 1 million behind the scenes stuff, very awkwardly maybe shaky camera footage of like a reel or like whatever, a story, you get maybe less excited than when you just have a bam, here's this, going back to Invisible Cartoon, Slap Nasty, colorful, explosive, fun music video, and you sit there and enjoy it for a while, and then later when you release the behind the scenes, it gives you another excuse not only to do the behind the scenes, but then you're like, oh, I kind of want to go back and watch the original music video with all that behind the scenes content in mind. So it's a good way to, again, just kind of get people back and interested in something that you put a lot of hours of work into, and it's a wonderful, fantastic end result. And speaking of that, we've been talking for a little bit now, and I want to give Slap Nasty a shout out, if you guys don't mind. That song. Woo! That's a great song. So
You're listening to Slap Nasty by Invisible Cartoons on
The Underbelly.
Like the way you play them guitar strings, now it's on, yeah. Right in my face with that throbbing bass, now it's on, yeah. And the keys keep the flow, gives me shelter, yeah. And the beats of the drums breathe the fire as it rains, yeah. I like the way you move. You got that passion, yeah. To sound real nasty. So come around now. If you're in the mood to like that passion, yeah. And sound real nasty. Yeah, I'll take away the pain with that smiling face. Now it's on, yeah. I like the way you move with the style of groove. You do what you do. Now it's going down. Rippers right to the middle, catch your leg with the wiggle, high five in the air, do it without a care. It's about that flow, gotta get it to go. Oh man, it's so dope, bro, you want it up. Oh, let's achieve all I go to the rhythm, yeah. And this blaze in our hearts is divine intervention. I like the way you move. You got that passion, yeah. To sound real nasty. So come around now. If you're in the mood to like that passion, yeah. Bring it on. Come on. Rolling along, the rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong, yeah. Rolling along, the rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong, yeah. Rolling along, the rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong, yeah. Rolling along, the rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong, yeah. Rolling along, the rhythm it is strong. The rhythm it is strong. The rhythm is strong.
Let's go back. Squee.
What was that?
Squee?
Squee?
Squee? He started it.
Oh, you squeed?
Don't look at me.
Sorry, I forgot to mention that there was a squee ban in this household. So
Oh.
yeah. We can't squee.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
I usually ask before I come.
Yeah, well, it wouldn't be a big deal, but yeah, see, we've had accidents before with squeeing. Yeah, it's okay. You didn't know. Yeah.
Consensual squee. Well, that's not where this conversation.
If you want to squoo, though, squoo. That's more my style.
is getting worse and worse.
We've reached the latter half of the podcast where things just start devolving into
Chaos.
nonsense syllables.
Yeah. I know we kind of are talking a lot about, the live performance aspect, but I would be remiss just because if you haven't seen Invisible Cartoons yet, this is something that
Then you're stupid.
Well, Dan,
And we hate you.
maybe they just haven't had a chance to see them live yet, and they will have a chance on
Excuses.
Saturday, February 4th at Pollyanna in St. Charles. But one of my favorite things that you guys do, not only, great stage presence, fantastic actual music. You guys are not like out of tune and everything. You sound really good.
Dance moves.
Dance moves. Can we please talk about the dance moves? When did this start? Who's the choreographer? Take it away, guys.
Well, it's perfect because these two are the dance masters. So I will pass the mic on over.
Dance master is very loosely used here. Confident. That is probably closer. It looks confident at least. But and I mean, we also have Ryan Caldwell, who also helps, and he comes up with a lot of ideas too. Because a lot of it comes down to we're talking about synchronicity or whatever, just trying to match moves, look like we intend to move the same way, and or sometimes I'll just watch Chris do something and I'll be like, oh, I'll do that too, and then that just becomes the move.
We usually have that rehearsal at the show. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just remember.
We usually have that rehearsal.
You have a bigger mic. You have a bigger voice, so it's a little bit
so
less.
right here?
But
No, I want.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello.
I think
So-
what he was saying is that you can just bring the mic.
Oh,
to
okay,
you,
cool.
and
Yeah,
you
because
can
I
move
know
it whenever you want.
I know I get thick with the vocal. All right, so yeah, yeah. So no, we because I'll do some stuff and then we'll do a gig, and then the next show I'll do I'll kind of feel like I have the same kind of mindset of what I'm doing, and all of a sudden Wordy's on the side of me and he's doing the same kind of thing with me. I'm like, oh, okay. So and we just kind of and then after the show we'll talk about. I'm like, hey, so I saw you did that. I was like, yeah, because I saw you doing that. And I was, cool, let's figure this out and stuff like that. Then one time he did a spin move and he was right there, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. That's what we're doing. So it kind of that's the chemistry is so great where we just unconsciously things kind of come into place. This new song we got called Grounded, which one of my favorite songs that's going to be on the album. We kind of do this little, and our stuff is not crazy, but it's these little hop, hop, hops, and then hop, hop, hops, because the way the beat goes, and then we'll hop, and then one time he leaned towards me, and I just put my hand on his shoulder, and he was like that, and then I think we did that first time we did that was at that show in Elmhurst, that venue. I don't know if that place is still open, but that show in Elmhurst. And then all of a sudden, all right, I guess that's our thing. So we do that. So the way we choreograph stuff, it kind of happens at the show, and then we kind of talk about it at practice, and then we're like, all right, cool, that's what we're doing. So that's really important, and it's funny because he want to downplay, but he's the anchor. He's like, we got to do more choreography. We got to do this and do that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, all right, man, if y'all want to, cool.
And he's unbelievably coordinated. His bass lines are pretty complicated, and he's flying around on bass, and his feet are all over the place.
Insane.
And it's
insane.
amazing to me.
Y'all gonna make me blush.
Yeah.
So Chris just mentioned a really fun dance move, but since you're the anchor, we have to ask you: do you have one of your favorite dance moves or dance sequences that have happened at a concert, spontaneously or planned?
Favorite dance move? That's kind of a tough one. There's a lot of random moments that have just come together. I can't think of one that specifically takes the cake for me. I like a lot of our Down with the Get Down movements. It was one of those things where was it Caldwell that came up with the jump back and forth?
Yeah,
thing?
for the most part. Yeah.
There has been we are the test for stages when it comes to that. It is oh, the litmus test is failing. This stage is about to crash. Everybody pretend you're hopping.
Get on the toes. Get on the toes. I used to do that move a lot before they joined the band. And I think when Carl saw me doing it, he was like, "Yo, let's do what Chris is doing." And then it's all right, let's do it. And then we start coordinating and stuff like that. And Justin got some stuff too. That stuff that he feel like, okay, I'm comfortable doing it, because his thing is, he got this. Yeah. Yeah, but we still all kind of got to coordinate, and with Slap Nasty, even with Jeff, we do the rolling along, the rhythm is strong, and that's
Right.
and he gets up, because Jeff is a chill cat, but he's a freaking animal on the
We haven't
drums.
given Jeff enough love in this podcast yet.
Yeah,
Jeff he's amazing.
Jeff, this band wouldn't be in existence if it wasn't for Jeff. He's a phenomenal human being and a phenomenal drummer, and he wants to be as good as he can be, and you want that in a band member. He don't want to half-ass anything. So, and yeah, man, it's fun when we could coordinate that stuff even with our drummer. He's like whatever I feel I can do, because he's nuts with his drums anyway. So he's like, whatever you feel like I can do, just make it happen.
And he does seem like a super chill guy, like bass line, and then he gets behind the drums and is just going crazy on them.
This
wow,
man do his stretches.
Would not expect that
and,
from
he's,
because he just seems like
it.
always so zen off the stage. Very nice. Hi, hey, how's it going? I'm like, hey. And then he gets behind the drums. I'm like, oh.
That's where all the energy goes. All the extra energy.
yeah.
He's just pent up inside, releases it just in time for an Invisible Cartoons show.
Like his drumming is like, because I mean, if you pay attention to the lyrics, the beginning of the lyrics, I'm pretty much talking about how dope my band members are. Like the way you play them guitar strings. Right up in my face. Oh, right up in my face with that throbbing bass. Then he did a spin move and hit me right with the bass. I'm like, oh, okay, we doing that now. And the keys hit the floor, gives me shelter, and the beast of a drums breathes the fire. Like, hell yeah. It's like,
God, I want a band ship like you guys.
That's my love letter to these guys. That's Slap Nasty, because Slap Nasty is about, that's dope. That's Slap Nasty. So,
have you guys ever come close to breaking a stage or falling through? Or something?
When Jeff start bouncing like this, we gotta find a way to tippy toe that shit.
So the most recent one, like over the summer, we played I think it was a Pride Festival. It was at the Dixon Pride Festival, and the whole stage.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Rocking, but we had like gone too far. Like once you start it, it's like you can't like easily just stop it. So we were just kind of like keeping our fingers crossed. Like, I think the stage is gonna hold, but we don't know for sure.
And there was it was a cool stage and a catwalk. So I was on the catwalk. I'm like, all right, there's some bounciness going. Let me get on this catwalk right here, so I don't add my extra 200 pounds to it. So the other stage too, it was called Jeff Fest, Chicago. Yeah, that was kind of bouncy too. Yeah. So
that was one of my favorite moments with Jeff, because he got on the microphone and was like, I'd like to thank you all for coming to my festival.
He said, "Oh, that's so sweet. They did a festival for us." But yeah, that was
so cute.
a bouncy moment. So yeah, we those bouncy moments, and also tight spaces. We play this place twice a year called Val's Place in Dixon. It's a small bar, and they move. Yeah, we love Val. She's done a lot of things for us, and we play a lot of shows in the Dixon, Illinois area. Shout out to Dixon. And we play her bar, and it's an awesome environment. It's small, but we played that enough to know, okay, this is where we need to go. We need to be right here, right, because we're in this tight space. But we know how to do it now. Like, I took a picture. I'm like, so when we go there again, I'm like, all right, here's the picture. This is how we set up last time.
Don't move 1 inch this way or this way.
Throw off the entire set.
Yeah, so tight spaces and bouncy stages. We try to make it work.
Right.
We make it work. Yeah.
I have a little bit more of a serious question, because last time you guys were on the show, we didn't know you as well, and obviously we're talking a lot right now about the camaraderie between you and everything. We talked about breaking stages. Have you guys ever come close to breaking up at one point
or breaking
another?
each other?
or like, yeah. Wow, all right. Breaking teeth. Not just kidding. But,
smell rocking today.
Obviously, no pressure necessarily to answer the question. But I'm just curious, though, because, that is, being in a band, if you haven't been in a band before, it can be a lot like in a relationship. I mean, you guys are together a lot. You have to make some important musical decisions. There can be some tempers that happen. And,
sometimes there's cheating going on. What? You're starting another band?
Right.
We barely have enough time to rehearse now.
At this point, we're in an open relationship.
So how do you?
Caldwell himself is in like 5 different projects.
That guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, have you had that moment like where you came close, and like how do you move past that? For any other bands that are listening, it might be in kind of a rocky place.
Yeah. I feel like I'm a good person to address this just because. So we've been together as a band. Is it 10 years?
Yeah.
And so, but we didn't meet the Ryans. Well, we knew the Ryans, but we didn't have them in the band. Yeah, we didn't have them in the band with us until several years into the band. And leading up to that point, we did have like a fair amount of just issues with other bandmates, and nothing necessarily like personal, but just just with any other like job or anything you're doing in life, like people change or they move on, they get less interested. So there were definitely, I would say, like the first, and Chris, I think you'd probably agree, like the first like 4-ish years of the band, there were like a fair amount of just difficult situations with band members or, people leaving and then having trouble finding replacements. And I think we all kind of feel like once Ryan Worthy and Ryan Caldwell joined the band, like we finally like became who we were always meant to be. And since those two have joined the band, there has, I would say, been like very little conflict. And but like you said, like in any band or relationship, there's going to be conflict sometimes. So I think like what has held us together is like, a conflict is not going to like break us up or like make us not want to continue being friends. It's just something that we just work through. And thankfully, it's not something we have to really deal with very often because we all get along really well. Chris and I have like in the past butted heads on things a few times, but like we love each other and we're like brothers. So it's like, sometimes it's just like you just got to really like hash things out. And if you're open and honest about like how you're feeling and what you want out of people, then I think it's like okay for things to get like heated or a little bit dramatic sometimes, as long as you're both kind of like listening and like working with each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feel like, sometimes, like you said, it's good to get heated because if it's coming from the right place, it means you guys are passionate and you care a lot. And that gives the foundation for you guys to work it out and hash it out. I think a lot of the problems when things get heated with bands that aren't meant to be is they don't they just don't want to hash it out, or they're afraid to get into the weeds of it with the other members, and then that breaks the relationship and things start deteriorating. There's no trust, and then it's the inevitable doom eventually comes. And so, that's talk to your bandmates, people,
for real. It also helps to have like
talk to each other.
Shared vision, and I feel like again, just from talking with you guys and seeing you live, that vision is 100% shared by everybody in the band. You guys are all on board with this sound, these ideas, experimenting, coming up with different things, expanding the universe, right? It's really lovely to see and inspirational, honestly. It's very a great dynamic.
One last thing I want to say about it, too, is like I think that it's really helpful when you have bandmates who are willing to adjust their vision a little bit when they realize that maybe your vision is slightly different. And I feel like Chris and everybody in the band has been really, really good about that. Like when they sense like, oh, maybe Justin doesn't like doing this thing, instead of getting mad like, oh, Justin doesn't like this, Chris's immediate response would be, well, let's think if there's like a different way we can do this. Like maybe Justin can do something else and then somebody else can handle this thing Justin doesn't want to do. So it's, I think, like a lot of it is about like having a vision, but then being willing to adjust your vision to kind of accommodate everybody else in the band.
Be a little bit more malleable.
I think patience happens as you get older, especially for me, because I was a freaking nut as a band member in my younger years. But now I just I try to do things based on what makes sense for everybody to be happy. I don't. We have things where we can have disagreements on certain things, but we try to figure out how we can make it work. I don't want to be. I don't want to. I'm too tired to be that aggressive anymore. So I'm all right. What's gonna work for everybody? Even like you said with our schedule. If that calendar wasn't in the right places, and sometimes that can get funky because if a schedule gets weird and certain things happen, and we ain't on the same wavelengths, there's going to be conflict. And this band needs a solid, sufficient calendar to make things work because we all have other projects as well. We're dedicated to this project, but we got to make sure everything is kind of locked in, and we support each other's different projects and stuff like that. But that's got to be on point, because we still want to make sure we're as organized as possible, and with everything that we do outside of this job, outside of this band, as it's got to be on point because if it's not, then there's going to be conflict. So I think we've done a good job of continuing doing that. Like our calendar is important. That we talk about relationships. That calendar is important for me and my calendar for my wife. She's like, you got 3 podcasts and the next put it on the calendar. I'm like, I told you, well, you got to put it on the calendar. I'm like, sorry, because usually you go downstairs and it's whatever. Oh, I got to go to this place. Oh, well, I thought you were just going downstairs to be on the internet to do it. I was like, no. Sorry. So you gotta be on point. Like, when we book shows, I'm like, yo, I don't see nothing here. Y'all want to do it? I'm gonna look at these dates and let's book a gig. Y'all cool? Yeah. And then we do it in. But everybody knows their role. They know what they need to do, and I think it makes it. I think it makes it easier to kind of, And honestly, I'm always thinking when it comes to these visual stuff, I throw this shit at them and they say, hey, I got this and that. And luckily they like what my ideas. I'm like, all right, cool. But, that's but we just, unconsciously, man, it just works out. We've known each other so damn long. So we kind of know where we want to go. And we all into the outer space shit. So it's like, all right, cool. Yeah. That's our thing.
Yeah.
And then we do these things and then people add their stuff and it's like, all right, cool.
So do you think keeping that schedule so nice and organized makes it easier for you guys to have other projects, or has it kind of been established that like, hey, this is always going to be our rehearsal day and leave this many weekends open for shows? Like, does the Invisible Cartoons kind of take precedent over other side projects or musical projects or video projects, or an unspoken like
generally, like, for me, like, at least, like, I do make Invisible have the priority with most days. Like, if they get, and it really is a first come, first serve thing for most things. So it's like one of the bands is like, I need you for this day on the 14th or whatever. It'd be like, okay, well, I have that in the calendar now. And so when Chris looks at the calendar to go book that date, he's like, oh, that date's already filled for Ryan, so I can't make that work.
Gotcha.
Or if it was like something that was really important, it'd be like, hey, like, this is a really big gig. Is there any way you could move that other one? And then we can negotiate from there, whatever we need to. But it's never been too big an issue or whatever at this point, at least.
Yeah, so far it's been working out, and his thing, I try to fill the damn calendar up for the whole year, so we don't have this issue. And I said to them, I'm like, if we get 2 shows a month, I'm happy. We get 2 shows a month, that's 20 shows a year. I'm happy, and my goal is to try to get us 20 2 shows a month and stuff like that. So I'm already trying to book in August or September, because at least if it's there, it's there. Because if I try to do stuff at the last minute, it's gonna get sloppy. So when it comes to booking and stuff like, especially now with what's gonna be happening in the next 18 months, with creating the record, putting the record out, playing shows, trying to set up little tours and stuff like that. I mean, we got to see where we at, and if we do that, and I support everybody else's projects and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it and say, I want to do this. This is what I want for Invisible. We put a lot of time and work into this, and everybody's like, cool, yeah. You know, we're not gonna do all this stuff just for, you know, we're dedicated. We're dedicated to being silly. and I think everybody knows that, and they see what we have. You know, when someone comes to us and say, "I had a crappy day and you guys made me feel good," I'm like, that alone is better than freaking 48,000 streams. When a human being comes to you and say, "You guys made me feel, I felt like crap today, and you made me feel good." I mean, that's where that, when it's all said and done, selling shirts, playing shows, when you put that type of impact in somebody's soul, that's all that matters, and that's the goal. So yeah,
Absolutely.
Calendars. Listen up, bands. Make a damn calendar. Figure it out. If you don't have a calendar, y'all ain't gonna last. So that's I'm already thinking about 2024.
Sure.
Yeah. So.
You mentioned a little bit offhand shirts, and I'm curious because your merch, completely pivoting 100%, but invisible cartoon earrings I wear all the damn time because they're so fun. They're just these upside down question marks.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are both rocking the caps. We got Chris with the lovely hoodie. This is merchandise that not only represents your band very well, but also just looks good. It looks fun. It looks like something that you can wear out and about without people necessarily, like, I don't know, without it being too specific, I guess. Do you have any other merch ideas that are going to be at the Saturday show? And maybe talk a little bit about your process of how did you come up with this upside down, let's say, question mark as a logo?
Well, it's funny because when we first, and you know, I'll give him a shout out. I think did Brad come up with the upside down question mark?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did? Okay. Okay. No. Well, he
So
I ain't gonna
casual
lie.
about that.
Well, he came up with the smile. He came up with the smile. He came up with the smile rock thing. And
Okay,
it was like,
that's
cool.
That is
I'm
cool.
gonna give him kudos. And I seen him over the summer, and he got kids, and you know he's doing well for himself and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw him a couple of times. So, but no, it's cool.
Who is this?
Brad, he was our original bass player.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so Justin came up with the upside down question mark. We was kind of going through different motions with that, because we had the upside down question mark, then we was doing like a cursive version of Invisible Cartoon, then we did a TV, and that was kind of like the main thing, because we put the TV on the Space Cat. And then the upside down question mark kind of came because I made my own personal TV hats, and I think I wore them. I think I wore them in a couple of music videos. Actually, I think I did. Yeah. I think I wore it in Slap Nasty video. Yeah, I think I did. Did I? Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So, but yeah, the upside down question mark kind of came back into the fold. It was like, it's simple, you know, upside down question, icy, invisible cartoons, and then we just start slapping it on the head. Oh no, you didn't know that?
No.
That's why we didn't just do it. Yeah.
That makes so much sense. I feel like an idiot. Wow. All right. Well, it's been nice, guys. Damn. All right.
I'll be taking over the show for the rest of the year, and Adela will be taking a sabbatical.
Yeah. Get my brain checked.
So one other just like funny little anecdote about the question mark specifically is we had to spend a ridiculously long time trying to figure out how to make it look just right so that it doesn't look like a handicap symbol. Because if you look at it, like, and we tried really hard to avoid it, but even still,
you can see the
sort of looks a little
resemblance.
But it got the slant. The other one is very circled like a C. This one has got a slant like that.
So that was actually partly why we moved away from it for a little while, because I was just like, I just can't figure out how to like draw it or figure out the perfect font and like. But yeah.
Hey, that could be a marketing campaign where, you know, you go around and find all the handicap spots that are slightly faded and just repaint them to really outline the Invisible Cartoons logo.
We're parking at the handicap spot. Like, why you parking there? See that, bro? Well, yes, it's icy.
Oh, wow. I'm learning so much. I'm never going to look at my earrings the same way again. Wow.
She's like,
damn.
Should I fix it for these guys? Are they okay? You know,
I just thought it was like a quirky. Oh, it was upside down.
It's,
Okay.
it's I see.
And that, to be fair, that is part of it too. Is just sort of like it's kind of weird and mysterious, like an upside down question mark. You know, we felt like fit with our vibe a little bit too.
Yeah, for sure.
God, I can't even look at your hat the same. I'm just seeing the handicap.
Now you know. Though. It's like,
I should have never said anything.
Wow, that's great. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So the IC is that's the logo. It's it's simple and people gravitate to it. People walking around with hats or hoodies with it. We got the Invisible Cartoons kind of logo, the font,
And while we're on the topic of merch, I should mention that everything is available at invisiblecartoons.com.
Go check it out. You guys have a lot of fun stuff. Is the earrings probably the most out there thing that you've done as far as merch goes?
We got scrunchies.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
I actually, like I said, I'm a walking billboard, so I actually wear one of the scrunchies at the shows. Our friend Shay, she has her own little business called Crochet and Whatnots. She's a phenomenal artist. She designed, this is all handmade. She designs our scrunchies. So if you guys are into scrunchies, they're very soft, very awesome. She put time into them. So we have those available. As far as new merch stuff,
Yeah, you can definitely use the scrunchie.
Yeah.
Armband.
Oh, you can People snap it on their arms, yeah. So
Just put it around your head.
yeah.
Headbands. Yeah.
It's like a stress head. If you got a stress headache, you could just put.
I'd wear an Invisible Cartoons headband, sweatband.
Yeah, we gotta get that roll. So yeah, we got the hats. We got three types of t-shirts. We got the hats, 3 types of t-shirts. We got the scrunchies. We got the earrings. We got the vinyl. We got the 2 CDs. We got magnets.
Nice.
We got magnets and stickers. We got 3 types of stickers. 4 types. So we have a pride sticker because we we support amazing things. So yeah, we got a bunch of stickers, t-shirts, and everything else. It's awesome, but it's also overwhelming because I can't bring all that stuff. I do the inventory and all right, I'm gonna bring these many. Because with the next album, I guarantee the next album I'm already gonna have. I know 2 characters that's gonna be on a t-shirt.
Right.
So and I already vision people who will wear that shirt. So there'll probably be another characters. And then with this album, we're gonna do collector's cards because we're gonna create these characters within the atmosphere. So we got a lot of stuff going on.
I saw one band do that at I think I saw them at Dirty Nelly's. They were opening up for a
Dirty
ska.
Nelly's. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Dirty Nelly's. I never played that. But I feel like I played every other spot in
I think
Illinois,
it just
but not that.
apparently it's changed a bit ever since was it a fire that happened to there?
Yeah,
And they had to
there's a
shut
fire.
down. They
That's
remodeled.
Yeah.
Apparently the remodel is not as fun, but I don't know. Haven't been there. But anyways, this band, I think they were called People Mover.
Okay.
And they all went on stage as their characters, and those characters were different forms of Yetis and abominable snowmen and Sasquatches.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, I'm not high enough for this. And I think the bass player only had 1 string.
Wow.
That's a choice.
Yeah, he only needed the 1 string, I guess. I mean, it wasn't that good of music.
Wow.
Let me put that out there,
you
too.
Can pull it out for 1 string.
It was all very, very gimmicky. But then I was like, I think I need a break from this. I'm going to run to the restroom. And then I see on the sinks in the urinals all these different trading cards of their characters. So, and apparently there was only like 2 characters at that show. You had to go to other shows to collect the other guys.
We met some. We played. Where were we? We were in Michigan. Yeah.
Maybe don't put your cards on urinals though.
That's pretty gross.
That was a little weird.
Shoot, where were? Do you remember what town we were in?
But what happened?
Maybe it was Sheboygan.
Or
Yeah.
Oh, we played it with a band. Oh shit, bro.
It was the May the 4th show.
They just showed up.
And they were walking
May the 4th.
around and they were handing out
Sheboygan?
the cards. Was it Sheboygan? Because it was the May the 4th to be with you
Sheboygan.
show, right?
It was in Wisconsin.
It's one of the two.
No,
Actually, I think
May
I
the
remember
4th.
actually
May the
seeing
4th
some
with
orcs in Sheboygan once.
yeah.
It was pretty entertaining.
I think
though. Like,
yeah.
guys
If
were
that was May the
walking
4th, I
around
think that was
right here.
Sheboygan.
They were giving out their cards?
Yeah,
Okay.
just giving them out. I don't.
They know
think
that
played.
May the 4th is Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
Not okay.
We were doing a Star Wars show.
Cool. All right.
They even had like the blue milk.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, damn, y'all remember that? Okay.
Oh, I remember.
No, that we played at that venue. We played, right? Yeah, that big venue. That's that big stage. Yeah, that was
It was
Sheboygan.
like at Art Center.
Yeah, that was
They had
Sheboygan.
the-
That was
and they were like,
Sheboygan.
You guys gotta check out the bathrooms. And we're like, the bathrooms? And then they were like
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
the nicest bathrooms I've ever been in.
Mm.
It's like, oh, okay. This
Damn,
this is
I
the
remember all that extra stuff, but that's cool.
It was the Kohler Art Center, and Kohler makes toilets.
Oh
So
my God.
That's why they had the nicest bathrooms in the world.
Wow.
Wait, what
Yeah.
made this bathroom so nice? We need to know now. Okay, we need to visualize what is in what
Come
were
on, I
in
think I took
these
pictures.
bathrooms.
I took pictures. It's been several years, but it was just like the most like opulent bathroom you can imagine. Just very fancy and like you just
Opulent.
the top of the line bathroom that you can imagine.
I guess we gotta go to the Kohler Center, man.
I don't know. Is that a trend now to make just the fanciest of bathrooms? My friends were talking about this place in Geneva. I think it was called 1910 or 1915 or something, some bar. And they go to the bathrooms and they're like clear screen doors. And they're like, well,
That sounds.
this is a problem. And then they go in, lock the door, and then the screen turns
Oh
opaque
yeah.
and gets like frosted, like a frosted glass. And like, wow, that's really fancy. And also, what happens when that breaks? That's an expensive door replacement. It's not you don't just like replace
Yeah.
the hinge on that guy.
No. And then what do people do in the meantime?
Yeah.
How many of them know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah, how many times do people like just don't lock the door and they're like, I guess I'll just be quick.
Just
you know?
looking at their phone, not
Yeah.
even paying attention.
Right.
Getting opaque.
Oh,
Somebody knocks on
no.
like, I can
We can see you.
I see you.
Yeah, there's some people that just didn't think things through when they created them and put it out into the world. I feel like semi-transparent bathrooms are one of those things.
Oh man.
Oh man, how did we even get here? That's
It's the bathroom
Kohler
portion of
Arts.
the podcast.
Kohler Arts. Right. The bathroom segment, of course.
Yeah, come on.
How could I forget the bathroom
We did
segment?
this every episode.
You're gonna have like a flush effect. The bathroom segment. I just got a new toilet and I'm very happy with it.
Oh, yeah?
That thing is powerful.
You need a good flush.
Man.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way. My wife's like, why are you doing it in this room? Because it's faster. And
It's the worst when the toilet takes
I
forever
regret.
and you have to like actually hold down the thing for it to really
Oh my gosh.
get
Yeah.
going.
The
So
main
old.
bathroom just like,
Yeah.
all right. This one, I'm like, whoa. It's gone so fast. It's so clean.
In one of my bathrooms, I have one of these commercial flushers, and it's so loud. It is so funny. I never tell anybody because I just like hearing the scream. 'Cause nobody really expects the toilet to be that loud because it's a small bathroom. And you flush it, it literally sounds like airport flushing.
Wow.
When you're like in the airplane
Yeah.
trying to flush it. I scared my uncle so bad. It was so funny.
Hey,
Man, that's great.
there's some interesting sounds of flushing in toilet. So I like field record. I like field recording. So I actually did. I recorded. It was this restaurant around my house. So I flushed the toilet. I'm like, damn, that sounds creepy and interesting.
Get the
so
mic.
I got mine because we don't spend that expensive phone we buy. We ain't talking on it. We recording something or we're shooting videos. So I got those recorders are nice. I got my video, recorded it. I probably got it on my phone now. I recorded it and did the
Pull
flush
it
on.
out.
But I took that. I gave it to Caldwell. I said, yo, make this weird. And I put it in my movie.
Okay.
Yeah. 'Cause
What
I love
what did
weird
it?
sounds.
What was what part did it play in the movie? Do you remember at all?
It was I think the aftermath of the flush. It was in the movie when a girl see the dark shadow figure.
And you just hear like a.
It was like.
You gotta look for it.
Yeah, you gotta look for it.
It's the
I might
Easter egg.
do it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like this used to be this was a toilet flush.
Let me take you
Now
back
it
to the
sounds
toilet where
I
capture
Where it
the
all
sound.
began.
Toilet flushes are awesome, man. If you know you making like crazy music, man.
Well, you get that bathroom reverb.
Yeah,
You know?
like or when you like humming inside the vent.
Yeah.
You humming in the vent. That's one other thing I gave the Caldwell. Caldwell did the electronic music, so I gave him I was humming in the vent. I said, "Yo, make this weird."
Okay.
And so he'll make it weird.
Is Caldwell still doing Crab Cat electronic stuff?
I don't know, man. Caldwell, I think he's trying to be.
Like they were doing it though, because they were doing like a song a day almost.
Yeah.
I think there's more than one Caldwell. I don't know. I don't know how much he have so much shit that he does.
Yeah, I feel like he's just
insane.
a never-ending fountain of ideas. Like he does so much. And
and on top of it, he's got his studio. I was there the other day for a studio session where he's been having a lot of clients coming through there. So he's been really on all the ends he can. He's got a lot of candles burning.
Yeah.
One of the things
I don't know where he finds the time.
One of the things that I love about what we do is we're not just playing music. Like we record our own stuff, we mix our own stuff, we shoot our own stuff. Like Justin and Caldwell are our music engineers. They know how to, like when we have to bring our own sound system, Caldwell to make us sound great. All our records, I've been a fan of Justin's stuff since he was in Facing Winter, and the way he records and how this stuff sounds. I'm like, dude, that sound analog. He's like, nah, you just know how to use it and make it sound right and sound clean and warm and stuff. It don't sound all like,
Processed?
Yeah, processed. Like he knows how to make that sound authentic and pure. And then Caldwell's come a long way in the stuff he does. Oh my God, his stuff is insane. I just did a music video for this artist that he did. Fox Flicks. Look out for Fox Flicks. They're coming out 2-piece. They do like atmospheric, like alternative rock type stuff. I heard their EP, Caldwell. I was like, dude, I felt like crying hearing this. And they let me
Studios.
Yeah, Bird Garden. Check
Studios.
out. And I did their one of their music videos and just the song, and it was very atmospheric and stuff. And the way he took their little, it was 2-piece. They took their stuff and then they tagged Caldwell, put all his ideas in there, and I'm like, oh man, nice. Phenomenal. Like we're lucky, man. We're lucky that we can do majority of everything that we do on our own. We don't have to like rely on other people to do. We can make our own videos. We can record our own records. We can book our own shows. We can, So if you're in a band, man, you just can't be a bunch of dudes playing music. You gotta learn the business. You gotta understand what's going on. Because at this point, getting signed to a record deal was cool back in '96, but it ain't. But that don't mean shit now. You gotta get in where you fit in and put your stuff out there. Because if you don't do that, then if you're just doing it for fun, cool. We're having fun, but like I said, we take our silliness seriously. So it's like, you gotta do it all, man. Like the stuff you guys do. Y'all out here, y'all get these cameras, y'all in place. Y'all wanna put artists out there, but no, you try, you're doing. You're not trying, you're doing.
It's true.
You putting out a new record. That video is awesome. You have a beautiful, beautiful voice, and you're talented as hell. So it's like I support independent artists, man, independent creators. Because if we don't support each other, nobody else will. So
preach.
Gotta get it.
Very true.
Gotta get it. Gotta get it. It's almost. Well, today's Sunday, so I'm preaching.
What?
I forgot what day it was. So I got Martin Luther King off tomorrow.
Nice. Yeah. I was gonna. Well, we've been going for a little bit. Is it worth bringing up okay. Let's just keep talking for a little bit, Laura.
Okay.
This has been fun.
I'm going to cut you off then first because I want to get to the question.
Sure,
I was going to leave this off, but I was very curious. You brought up, or somebody brought up, just how, like, warm the recording sound. They're not, like, overproduced. They're not, I don't think they're quantized to all hell. So I was going to, ask, do you want to share any, like, tips or tricks that you've been doing in the engineering side of things and the production side of things, where you guys are making your record sound so good and not like the rest of the modern rock that's out there, where it's like, that's a good song, but man, the production just is killing it for me because it sounds just so like, quantized, overproduced,
Processed.
electronic, processed.
Because you guys sound, I mean, you guys have a very warm and full sound. It sounds like professional grade, but not, like you mentioned, not overly sanitized. So anyway, I just want to pop that in there.
Yeah, so like for me, and I think everybody agrees with this, and we touched on it a little bit earlier, but we prefer to not write songs as we're recording them. And so for us, like a big part of our process is playing it out live several times before we attempt to record it. And I think that kind of, it's not necessarily an obvious thing, but sort of sets the stage for things sounding more organic and less processed, because and this isn't necessarily true for everybody, but like when you have a bigger band with a lot of instruments, if you're not like very intentional about like how you're going about the recording and what you plan to do, which order you want to do tracks in and things like that, you can run into like little problems where then you start to have to like maybe process that. Like it's I'm trying to think like a specific example, but like I know a lot of bands, they might have a song half written and they might start recording, like they're like, oh, let's go ahead and get the drums down, and then maybe partway along the way the guitarist changes his part a little bit, and so then like the drummer has like written a part that is not necessarily like going exactly with this new part the guitarist has written. So I think like for us, like it's really important where we all have our parts mostly done before we even start. And then from there, I think it's just trying to use like a light touch on things where like if something doesn't sound good, rather than trying to like use processing to make it sound better, like a lot of cases it's just better to do another take and like try either like a different mic setup or take like a day or two to practice a little bit more. If it's like a quantizing type of situation or like an auto-tune situation where, and for the record, like we're not necessarily like against auto-tune or quantizing, but I think that for every musician, like the goal should be to like not use those things if you can.
For sure. Like they're helpful tools, but they shouldn't be like the foundation or like what's being relied on.
Yeah, so like I think that like practice and playing songs out at shows are almost like underrated ways that you can make your recording sound more organic and less produced, because you're not having to like repair things on the fly because parts are changing or people weren't as familiar as they thought they were. But yeah, and I think just like a light touch with like engineering in general is a good idea. Like you don't want to use effects just because you have them. You want to like just subtly kind of like, just little sprinklings of things here and there. So.
Very nice. Very nice. I just love the talking shop when it comes to
absolutely,
because I'm in like by no means an engineer or producer, but when doing demos, I like to just make them sound as good as possible for when I do pass them off to an engineer or producer that I want to work with. Be like, this is pretty much what I'm going for, and help me make it better. Instead of just being like, here's a phone recording of a song that like I kind of half-assed.
Right.
That's like most of the words, right?
Yeah, I think I got. I might change them for when we get in the studio, but I don't know.
No, I mean, and I feel that too. One thing that's been interesting to me to see, having the chance, I've started working a lot more, doing freelance over the past like 2 years, of just working on people's albums or singles and stuff with cello stuff. Yeah. Or like, grabbing my violin friends and going together with people's records and whatnot. And it's really interesting to see. There are some people who work very much in the box, but those people sometimes, and it's not like a demerit or something, because sometimes you can make it work really good. And if you have like electronic music, let's say, then spend hours and hours with all those different effects and different things. But sometimes it's hard for me. Sometimes I want to say something when I see like a singer-songwriter, for example, with a really great song, go into the studio, and then all of a sudden it's a playground, right? There's so many options in front of you. So you layer and you layer and you layer and you
layer, and by the time it's done, it just sounds like too sweet, like a like a coffee cake that just had way too much sugar in it. You know, like it would have been perfect 2 cups ago, and now it's too much. You know, so it's interesting to hear your perspective from an engineer. And again, not saying, because for some genres it works really well, but
like you said, electronic music,
right?
Yeah, that's kind of the point.
But there's so much temptation right now to, you know, you can smooth out a lot of different vocal or even cello and violin imperfections with auto-tune. You can quantize, you can fix all these mistakes, but then are you losing the soul of the song in the process?
Right.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Have you seen the,
especially with like singer-songwriter and rock music, like people want to hear humans. You know? So it's like in like if you listen to like classic rock songs, like even big hits, like you hear like little imperfections, like little things that aren't right on beat, or notes that might be like slightly off vocally, but we love it, you know, because it's like it's a human and it sounds real. And
there's one song I forgot who it was by, I think Ian Matthews, but like he just went back, it was released in the 70s. He went back and did this like fun doo-wop song where it's just a cappella, but they're all clapping on beat, just, you know, quarter note pulses, and then but you hear, like, they obviously got a bunch of people in the room to help with the claps, but you hear some people get off for a clap here or there. It's like, it's funny, and it's like, you know, that one they all came in a little bit early, and it just made it more authentic.
Keeping that authenticity. And I think, like, especially with us doing a lot of, you know, like vocal stuff within it. And I told you guys, like, I want every chorus to sound like an anthem. I just want, you know, and then seeing what we do, you know, live, and all of us, when that hook kicks in, all 4 out of 5 of us, or all 5 of us are singing at the same time, you know, there are certain elements of, like, you know, that's awesome. But and then incorporating that into the album, you know, we'll do our thing. But yeah, I see us going into all 5 of us in the studio doing certain things and making noise and yelling and stuff like that within the album to kind of keep that punk rock energy into it. And I think that's part. I like big albums. I like big, you know, I love strings and stuff like that. But creating that epicness doesn't need to still sound like, you know, cookie cutter. You can still have those strings and all those things just kind of wobble into the mix. And we've done string stuff with our first album, and then we did, you know, with our first album, and that shit was fun. So now we had the EP. Now we're doing this album. Yeah, we still want to think big and do all these things, and all of us singing and stuff like that. But just how it mixes and how it bounces off each other. You know, that's the whole power of it.
Another funny example of like just how things are getting too perfect is that when you go back and listen to something that's not perfect, people like are overanalyzing it. So Paul Davids did a video on this song "Scar Tissue" by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and he points out that it's like, you know, you play along to it and it's out of tune because the B string is just slightly out of tune.
Okay.
And he gets really into detail, but it doesn't sound out of tune. It sounds great. And he's thinking like, oh, John Frusciante is a genius for doing this on purpose. Like cause, you know, and he tunes the B string to perfectly match, and it's like, it doesn't sound like it just sounds so good. And then John Frusciante was recently on a podcast with Rick Rubin, and Rick Rubin brought that video up, and John Frusciante was like, oh, that's funny. I probably just didn't tune my guitar. Yeah, I probably just didn't tune it, and it sounded fine, so I recorded it, and there you go.
Man. That guy need to get hit with a pancake.
Because I usually love Paul David's stuff, but I remember watching it. I was like, he probably...
The curtains blew,
everything was out of tune, like in the 60s and 70s. Like, they just, you know, would be doing a bunch of takes in a row, and eventually it got out of tune, but then one of the out of tune takes was the best one. And that's the one we're using. And
I try to like with auto tune and stuff like that. I'm self-conscious about certain how I hit notes and sometimes and stuff like that, where I'm like, oh, it's a tidbit off, and because I record all my own vocals, but I just like to be in that room and putting all my stuff in place and stuff like that. instead of me, going somewhere recording it, and all of a sudden I listen to it like shit. I got to go back and like.
Right.
So I try to pinpoint everything that I'm doing, and I try to be as good as I possibly can, but. I record with this mic and I record with a Rode mic for the softness stuff.
Yep.
This mic is gritty.
Yeah,
this
it's
mic,
great for getting that,
those
biting vocals.
And I used to be in a metal band. So
what?
I was in a band called Stuck on the Water. So
damn, that's cool.
Our producer, he was like, check this out, Chris. Here's some weed. Here's some beer. Smoke and drink this. Grab this mic. And sing. He wanted me to sound like I did when I was at shows. And everything if you listen to that record, the first record, everything you hear was me high and stoned. I ain't drunk.
That's funny.
Because he wanted that rawness. He didn't want me to sound, he didn't want it to be perfect. He wanted me to, he want those squeaks and those screams and all these other things. Yeah. Now, Invisible is a totally different monster, and I want to make things sound pretty and beautiful, but it still has this rawness. And then with our vocals and the chants and all the things we got within these vocals, that's what I'm saying. We have vocal practice. For practice, it's like, all right, we're preparing ourselves for the live show to get in sync. Then we're preparing ourselves for the recordings to get that all in place, man. It's like we and like I said, we're a live band. We want people to listen to this record, be in this world, but we want people to be in this carnival world and they see this band performing. So it's still like that live atmosphere. We want people to still hear that. We want people to have shows in their headphones, listen to it. So we, that beautiful, I call it that beautiful rigidness. Yeah. Where everything just kind of bounce in place. I think Justin does a good job putting that beautiful rigidness within, everything that we do to kind of keep it more authentic. I love this man. He got a lot of work to do because this is gonna be our most ambitious album ever. That's a reality.
There's a sigh that happened right there.
Characters. Me and him wrote characters. We sat down and wrote that album, and then we kind of pieced everything together to present it live. All five of us pieced this album together. So this is more in tune with us as a band to put everything in place. The first album, me and Justin sat down and kind of orchestrated all of that and put all that stuff. But it's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of fun, but
fun.
I'm
Can't
excited.
wait to hear it.
Yeah. I'll save my question. I was going to have another question. Let's save it for another
totally
time. We've been talking for a long time, and
What time?
I love it. But I feel like there's a couple of different ways that conversation could go, which means that we'll just have to have you back when the album is finished.
Yes, we will.
We can walk through the album, and I'll ask that question
Part
at
2.
that time. Part 2.
Okay.
Write down the question because you're gonna forget.
It's in our document notes, which you haven't opened at all.
I was working a lot today. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm joking.
I was running late.
It's all good. I joke, I kid. But
we got to the toilets.
We got that.
Come on, we didn't forget about it.
We did the toilet segment. That's the most important part.
Right?
Nah, just
you
kidding.
don't even need to write that in the docs anymore.
That's true. Although on a completely unrelated note, at some point I want to introduce sauerkraut into a game with a band, but that'll be a different. That'll be. It was on the dock. What you doing?
Oh yeah. Wow, embarrassing.
My son calls sauerkraut sauerkrap. Like what do you say? Sauerkrap. What you eating, Roman? Sauerkrap.
That's.
But
Really
it was a couple of years ago, so now he can say sauerkraut.
That's fair.
Because he's at that 5 age, like, Dad, whatever. That was a couple of years ago, dude.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh, he's now old enough
I'm like,
to
why
say
you call
sour
me dude?
shit.
Because we call each other dude.
Dude,
that's really
dude.
cute.
What are you doing?
Nice.
Nothing, dude.
You're gonna in the hospital. I'm gonna be calling my baby like dude. If that day ever
look at that
comes,
little dude.
Like, yo, dude.
Oh my God.
What are you doing? And I'll just name him
like,
dude.
Bro.
Dude Dick.
Dude Dick.
Still got to be, keep the alliteration alive in my family.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That dude Dick.
Yo, Dude Dick.
Y'all get that dude Dick.
Yeah.
Do that.
Well, see you later.
Yeah.
That's how we end the show.
And with that,
Filled my quota.
well, we are ending the show. Although, let's make sure that we, one more time, emphasize the fact that Invisible Cartoons is playing at Pollyanna on Saturday, February 4th. Can you guys give us the details again? What time? What's the cover charge if there is one?
It's free!
Hey!
Show starts at 8:30. We got a 2-hour set.
Woo.
It's in St. Charles, Illinois. Just look up Pollyanna. There's 2 different locations, but St. Charles, Illinois. They have fantastic beer, fantastic people. The last time we played there, it was a lot of fun. The sound guy, Rick, was phenomenal. It's going to be a lot of fun. Come on out, guys. Come support. If you watch this, support podcasts, support local artists, support anything that we're trying to do to make the world a better place in your brain cells. We're trying to stimulate your mind in a positive way. So February 4th, Pollyanna, show starts at 8:30, and it's free.
Perfect. And if people want to follow you in the meantime, keep up to date with when the album's dropping or behind the scenes of you in a green suit. Where can they do that?
Y'all be seeing some behind the scenes of our videos from it. I was watching it a couple of days, and it was just a lot of fun. I was just like, "This is silly." I'll show some video of me with a green suit holding Ryan Worthy's his tie, pretending he's floating in a bottle of Slap Nasty juice.
That's fun.
Slap Nasty soda. Sorry. Yeah.
So but where can they follow you in order?
You can follow us on invisiblecartoons.com. And then you can get all the show information. We got music videos. You can check out our music videos if you want to sign the mailing list. Sign the mailing list. We're not bugaboos. We probably do about 6 emails a year. Very thick theatrical emails to say we're doing stuff and we're around and we have candy and hugs and lots of dance moves. And I need to stretch my bones because we haven't played the show since December. So I gotta get back in place. And I wear a kilt now. That's part of my fashion.
Yeah.
I have a rainbow kilt.
Oh yeah.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
yeah, my wife just bought me for my birthday these shoes. They're crazy. She was like, "You gonna wear?" I thought I get you these shoes for your shows. I'm like, "Oh, you want me to wear these at the shows?" I'm like, "These things are all right, cool." So I got 4 pairs of shoes that I wear to shows, and our fashion sense is gonna increase with certain things that we're doing. We're silly, man, and we smile rocket, and we're gonna have fun this year, and we hope everybody have fun with us.
Awesome.
Sci-Fi Disco Carnival about to be on like Donkey Kong.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Couldn't end that better. Any better. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
Joy.
Underbelly Hour for life. There we go.
And if you like these kinds of conversations, if you like live music, which we're going to be doing a lot more of events and other things throughout the year, you can follow us at the Underbelly Hours on Facebook and Instagram. Technically, TikTok, we don't use it anymore, but we are on there if you guys are ever on TikTok. Also, you can stream all of the podcast episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the Spotify streaming or whatever streaming platforms, but also on Ox Chicago or oxaudio.com. And this has been an episode of the Underbelly Hours.
It has.
Mm-hmm.
You're Adela.
You're Dan. Oh, fuck. We messed it up.
Wow, we did it backwards.
Okay.
Just cut. We're good.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. 1, 2, 3.
Bye.
Okay.